I would say it's safe to say right now that one trend that we are seeing in the world of tech is absolute mass layoffs. You can just look at the figures and actually just look at the businesses. Brands like Intel, brands like Indeed and Glassdoor, so many big companies, Microsoft and others are laying off workers really at quite an alarming rate. And this brings us on to today's company in question, which is indeed Microsoft. So, Microsoft's CEO is consoling employees by saying that the recent layoffs are down to, quote, the enigma of success in an industry that has no franchise value. Doesn't that just make you feel better? So, this month began with some stark news for the Microsoft employees. The business was doing better than ever before, but somehow that meant layoffs. We are seeing the company announcing the layoff of around 9,000 employees globally. Studios were closed and games were cancelled. Then to rub salt in the wound, some Microsoft exec with terminal LinkedIn brain suggested that those affected should use AI to console themselves. Judging by the bizarre Microsoft behavior, right, and the things that we are seeing, the question is what comes next and how are things going? Well, one thing that we are seeing is some messaging which many people may not be the biggest fan of. So here we have some news coming from the Microsoft CEO, and I'm going to bring you on to this quote specifically which speaks about this. I want to speak to you all about something that's been weighing heavily on me, and I know that many of you are thinking about it too. The recent job eliminations, writes the CEO. Also from there, went on to say the seeming incongruence of the fact that by every objective measure, Microsoft is thriving. Their market performance, strategic positioning and growth are all on point and look right. And yet, at the same time, they've undergone these layoffs. So, apparently this is the enigma of success in an industry that has no franchise value. Progress isn't linear, it's dynamic, and sometimes dissonant, and always demanding. But it's always and also a new opportunity for us to shape, lead through, and have greater impact than before. Now, I really want to leave quoting the article there because I think that actually speaks enough. But what I really want you guys to take from this video, and perhaps to understand from it, is the messaging behind this, what this really means, and how corporate life for employees, for businesses, and everybody else in between is changing. These companies are simply looking to cut as many costs as possible. And they don't really seem to mind, just based on all of the companies which are laying off, even companies which are doing very well. They don't seem to mind the impact it has on the average person. A very scary time to be working in this sector in general. Very scary time to be working in so many of these companies. We've seen Nvidia, or rather I should say Intel. We've seen Intel laying off a lot of workers in the last couple of months too. So many of these brands are going down this path. It really is a worrying time. But let me know what you think of this in the comments. Thank you for your time, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.